Public case of People versus Maryanne Grady. Reference to reflect that Maryanne Grady is president representing herself pro se, having been qualified as such previously. 88 McRoberts is here representing the people of the state of New York. Any legal reason why sentence cannot be imposed, Ms. Grady?
Yes,
And what's that?
that a sentence is not just.
Well, that's not a legal reason for not imposing it.
No.
Is there some reason why it should not be imposed?
Because we were upholding the law. We were upholding the international law.
We're going to proceed with the sentence.
Okay, can I make a statement before you do
You
that?
may, absolutely.
This is very difficult to I don't know whether you heard Ellen when she was sitting on the stand talking about her husband Peter when Peter died. Did you hear her?
Yes, you bring it up, I do recall it now.
Yes. And I don't know, I mean, I understand that you've been a greater listener than most judges that we've ever seen in the courts. But I'm not sure that you heard deeply enough the words of my niece, Saoirse, who's now 9, but when her daddy died, she was only 6. And Saoirse was in the car with Ellen as they were discussing this action in Hancock. You know, Peter fell from a tree 25 feet down and bled to death. It was shocking on a February day. I know Peter would have been standing here with us today. Peter stood in many courtrooms to stand up for justice. But as Saoirse was in the car, she said to Ellen, "Mama, what happened to Papa was a terrible thing. It was a tragic accident. But what we're doing in Pakistan and in Afghanistan, what we've done in Iraq, is on purpose." A 6-year-old gets it. We're not embodying the reality of this. We human beings on this side of the Atlantic, we can go and export our wars, no problem. It doesn't affect us. I didn't have time to prepare a closing statement. Instead, I've got pages and pages of instructions for a catering job to happen for a guy that's going to retire from the Romance Studies Department at Cornell University. I've got 15 people hired. I've got to take care of business. But I don't feel like my life, I want my witness to be true to the truth, which is that what's going on in this courtroom. I feel like you didn't hear me either describe to you how Justice William Brennan understood that his statement or his ruling in 1962 was not right. There are times when you, since you're not 12 people, you're one person, you're the juror here.
Yes.
You're the jurist. You have to uphold the law. You have to find us not guilty, including the ones that are sitting in that cell. This is hard. It's not convenient. It's especially hard for you, who's sitting in drone territory. You're a Republican. You probably deal with people that work on the base quite often. And you have to face those people. I can go home to Ithaca. I don't face them every day. But like Ellen, I'd like to go back to the base. Not that I want to sit in a jail cell. Not that I even have time for it. And I have been having pain because I'm trying to do two things here. I know from what, as Claire said, when you do things, you get to learn it better. And you saw me fumble. You saw me drop the ball as I'm learning how to be my own lawyer here. Thank you for holding us in that fumbling. You and I have to embody this law because there's no mechanism to hold our country accountable. We have to do it. There's nobody else. And we have to do it town by town, county by county. We know that the Pentagon has contracts in every congressional district. That's how the Pentagon makes money, because everybody needs jobs. Everybody needs to keep the machine going forward. Just like Nazi Germany did. We all went like this. Nobody questioned. All judges went ahead with it. But what did Ramsey say to us? He said judges were put in jail for not upholding the laws that are all written on our hearts. Ramsey, by the way, says hello to you. I spoke to him today, and he hopes that you're on the radio station, on the radio show tomorrow morning. Democracy Now! Is inviting you to be on the show.
I can't, except because I'm not ethically allowed to discuss it.
After? Okay, whatever.
The decision speaks for itself.
Okay, but the decision can be altered. The decision is legal? No. It's not legal to kill people. Not by any religious standards, not by any human standards. I know you sit and you make judgments on, people that are driving while drunk because it threatens people's lives. And you stop that. We were not threatening anybody's life. And as a matter of fact, we were, as it says here, I need a tissue. Is there a tissue in the courtroom? You know that Ramsey said that the local judges were put in prison for violating customary international law in their local courts. And that precedent was established that local courts are a necessary and a legitimate forum for upholding this law, international law. We Grady's can be strong-willed. The one thing my father and my mother taught us is to stand with what's just. It's not just that Ellen's in that jail cell or that Danny is. Danny never mentioned that his wife is in law school at Cornell and she's got finals this week. He never told you that. So those 3 kids are going to be with Jessica, and it's going to be damn hard. I ask you to change your mind. But more than that, I ask you to change your heart. And just like I asked Fred at the end of our trial, I said, Fred, you don't have to do this. You can join us. And I invite you also. Come out with us at the base. See the people that have to go to work in there. Look more closely at what our country is depending on for our economy. We're making. Thank you.
You raised some very interesting points, and I do feel that you're very sincere relative to those points. Sentencing judgment is part of the one-year conditional discharge conditions being stay out of further trouble with the law. I am not going to impose any community service. However, I am imposing a $250 fine, $125 surcharge, serving you with a summons with notice that if you don't pay it and it's willful, it'll convert to a civil judgment that may affect your credit rating or your ability to get loans. I'd ask the court attendant to serve Ms. Grady with a copy of that. You do have a right to appeal the sentencing judgment of this court. If you wish to appeal the sentencing judgment of this court, you will be in the county court. However, you file the notice of appeal here in due course within 30 days of today's sentence, and then you have to perfect your appeal to county court. And the forms are available on the New York State website, court's website. That'll conclude this report.